Alright, so today is Sunday. We have an emergency call, so we got a walk-in freezer that's down, and also got a same building has no heat. So I took a look at the freezer inside the coil, and it's iced up. So we have to figure out why. So it's a Norlake, meaning that it's self-contained. So it has the condensing unit, the compressor, and evaporator are attached to each other pretty much. There's not much holding this thing on here. There we go. I don't know why somebody would cut this out, maybe so they can clean the coil without having to take the doghouse off, I guess. It just shut off. That's interesting. I miss a screw. 2010, so this is an older unit. So the good thing is it probably has a regular mechanical time clock, and it does. And we're almost in, we're actually out of defrost. So in this, nope, we were in defrost. That was its defrost cycle. That's weird. Alright, so that's defrost right there. So we'll see if the heat is actually replace defrost. What does that say? Somebody's been writing brown, black, defrost, red, command, fan, black, white. Replaced, defrost. That looks like a T. Thermostat. I'm pretty sure that's what that's supposed to say. Month 2816, they replaced it again in 2020. Alright. I can hear the defrost clock moving. Let me see if I can move the microphone up. I can hear the motor clicking. That doesn't turn, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the actual clock itself is turning. Why is it in defrost with the fans running? With only one fan running. Alright, we got something funky going on here. Alright, that's defrost. That's freeze. And that's defrost. That's different. We also, this comes in on camera, we got a little bit of a drip over here, so my defrost heaters are working. Yeah, they're definitely working. But my fan's on, or one fan's on and one fan's off. So we either got somebody miswired this. Huh. Yeah. But they're all both off of the same power. How is this possible? I got one fan motor running, one fan motor off, right? And now that's on. Alright, we got some weird stuff. Let's go into the bag of tricks here. Now, is my defrost still on is the question. And my heaters are on. Okay, so test this for magnetism. I don't feel anything, so my solenoid's closed. Why is this fan on? Both fans are hooked together, so why is this fan on? Here are my fan wires. 2 purples, 1 purple that way. Alright, this is different. It's definitely different. And that condenser unit's still running. So I'm not so much concerned about that. Oh, I am concerned about that. Alright, so and I'm still in defrost. There's non-defrost, and the fan motor speeds up. And now I'm in defrost, and the fan motor's down. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. I have a sneaking suspicion that our time clock is screwed, and it's letting some voltage by on the fan wires. What kind of clock is this? It's an 8141. 8145. Okay, so let me just confirm that my fans are on. This is another relay. Now, how the hell is this set up? 3 is coming down, going to common. Normally closed, okay. I'm going to 7. Coming off of 7, going to my high limit. And then defrost heaters. 4. Liquid line solenoid temperature controls my fans. Boom, boom. Alright, so I think we just got a bad time clock, and I'm feeding voltage through both at the same time. So I bet you if I go 120 and nothing, I don't have anything there. 120. Got some weird things going on here, brother. And that was actually spinning in the wrong direction. Okay. All right. So, since somebody's been here before, let me just make sure that we got things wired correctly. Alright guys, I figured out part of the problem, and this is a new one on me, man. I'm back feeding somewhere. I have to be. Alright, so right here I have my I figured out where I stopped. The reason why where I stopped is because there's a relay right here. That's an interlock relay. So that relay will not let the heaters turn on unless the compressor shuts off on low pressure. Okay, my compressor isn't shutting off on low pressure. Why is not shutting off on low pressure? So, here we go. We turn this on. Check this out. 208 volt solenoid. 120 volts. Now, I touch. Solenoid opens. Solenoid closed. Solenoid open, closed, open, closed. But there's only 120 volts here. So that means that I'm able to complete a circuit on one of these wires somewhere. So like I said, this this is a mess. I'm going to clean all this up, and I'm going to redo everything. I got the fans to stop. I'm pretty sure that this fan motor here is dead. And I think the reason why it's dead is because one of the wires was backfeeding into something. So I got to figure out what's crossed where, is basically what this comes down to. So I got to trace out this whole debacle here, because now I'll leave this unplugged. So you can see I got 120 volts there. When I click it out of defrost, 208 volts there. One fan motor's on, the other one's not. All right, so I'm pretty sure that this one's dead. They're both hooked into the same lines. So I think we got an electrical issue is what we got. So I just got to figure out where the issue exists and fix that. So either way, I'm going to at the very least replace this, the fan thermostat, and this 2-wire heater limit. If I have one in the truck, I'm going to replace that because that looks all cracked and garbage. And we'll feed out where we're back feeding from. I'll get this all de-iced also. Okay, boys, I figured it out. Took me a little bit. I was absolutely racking my brain. I went through everything, and everything is correct. Time clock was fine. Relays were doing what they're supposed to be doing. But check this out. So right now, we're going to click into defrost. So we're in defrost, right? We're going to turn it on. We're on, and we're in defrost. Okay? So we're going to take these 2 wires. This is my solenoid, and we're going to... All right, hopefully you can hear that clicking. Let me get the microphone down there. That solenoid's opening. Should not be opening, right? And we're gonna kick it into freeze. That fan turns on, that one doesn't. And we still open, okay? Now, we are gonna go over here and we are gonna disconnect. Now, when we first got here, you remember this was the one that was going and the other one wasn't. So we're going to disconnect that fan motor. Now you can see, hopefully I can get it on camera, the tag there is all kinds of jacked up. I'm going to reconnect the other one, wiring to the other one. Okay, so we're all reconnected there. We're currently in freeze. Okay, so we're gonna click. Solenoid clicks like it should. Now we're gonna go into defrost. Now we're in defrost, and no clicky clicky. This fan motor is back feeding that circuit because they're on the same circuit. They're both hooked into the same wire right here. So there's something screwed up inside the windings of this motor that is allowing voltage enough to backfeed to be able to get this sumbitch to open. It's the weirdest thing. It's the absolute weirdest thing. So what I'm going to do right now is we are going to, I have a 3-wire. We're going to replace this because I have the fans hooked back into that now. And we're going to replace this other one because it's, if you can get the camera in there, it's starting to crack and look a little ugly. So I'm going to see if I have one in the truck. In the meantime, we're just going to give her the hose off. Actually, we won't even need to give her the hose off because we should technically be drawing on our heaters. Yeah, our heaters are on. Our heaters are definitely on now. So this relay down in here won't allow the heaters to turn on unless the compressor shuts off. Not through the time clock, but it has to shut off through the low pressure control. So by having this open and leaking by, compressor never shut off, never went into defrost. Or went into defrost, but never turned the heaters on. So there you go. That's our problem. New one on me, man. And I've been doing this for 23 years. So let's replace those 3 components. I don't think you guys really need to see them. It's basically just taking these nuts off. This whole rack comes out. And these guys here should be just mounted to a plate. Yeah, we're screwed into a plate here. And we're screwed into a plate here. Relatively simple, and we'll come back when we're done. All right, we got our all in there. Everything's looking good. New motor, new 3-wire defrost termination. I don't have the 2-wire in my truck. I actually used the last one I had in my truck apparently on Friday, and I was gonna get a new one on Monday, and today is Sunday, so that's no big deal. When we come back for their PMs and stuff, we can do that. Then it'll run without that. The one that's in there is working. It just looks ugly. So now we just gotta take a peek at the heat here. So up we go. Even it's pretty new. Well, hopefully this will be easy, because diagnosing that thing was a pain in the butt. Oh, we're getting too old for this. It's a new, or newer York. I hear the draft motor. Doesn't everybody? I gotta take a picture of that one. That one's good. That doesn't bode well for the rest of this unit because it's probably hacked to pieces, but we shall see. Pressure sensor failure. Building pressure sensor. That's not a big thing. Supply, humidity sensor. These are all common things, honestly. Sensor failure. Let's see what else we got. Alarms, building supply, outdoor supply. Alright, let's see what's going on here. First things first, I'm going to check the belt's tight. One, two, three. Tree. Pressure switch failed to close. That guy. Alright. That draft motor sounds like crapoly. Could be that our impeller is broken, but we're gonna just test this pressure thing. See if I can get it to close. So let me grab my meter real quick. Actually, we can just unscrew it so I can show you guys what I'm doing. And grab my meter. Okay. So, actually, I'll just stick this on. Okay. All right, so put this on continuity, make sure it works. And it does. Clip this here, clip this here, and just suck and blow on this. She no good. Okay, I actually have one of these in the truck. We'll pop it in and we see what happens. I just noticed all this. Tech support numbers. I've been talking to a ton of people. I can see why they wrote I hate York. So I pretty much have the same one. It just has a different mount. Same pressure switch. Actually exactly the same. It just has a different different mount on it. So we'll just take this one off and do the swap-and-sees, that's all. It's just for a different model, I believe. But the ratings are the same. I actually double-checked to look them up, and they match. Take this. Pick those up in a second. Let's move this. we go. There. Actually, it goes the other way around. That there. That guy in there. These two wires on. And what we want to do while we're here is just double check the condition of the heat exchanger, because you never know. All right. Shouldn't look too bad. Normal. I don't see anything that would supremely concern me. Oh, that's not a hole. There's a couple little rust spots over here. Like in on this side, just making sure that they're solid. And yeah, looks pretty good. So just leave that off for now, and we'll turn it back on. Pick up that plate that I dropped. Here's the old one. A couple other extra pots in here. Here's a it's a limit, a temp limit. I saw a board in here. It's ignition board. Fuses. Extra perks. Alright, so it has a startup delay. And then I think the thermostat has a delay on it also. And then everything should turn on. Two problems on startup. Economizer I don't know what that says. INST looks like induction. I don't know what the hell that is. WT high fire overheats trips. So does that mean that they disconnected W2? Yeah, W2 is not hooked up, it looks like. There's an issue with that. That, more than likely, this here, it says unit lost H1 to heat board, something H1, put H1 onto W2 for board. Okay, W175, W2 205, W2 high fire overheats trips IDBM max amp 7.5, full load 9.5. Trip and high fire more than likely is a ductwork issue, I would assume, rather than a unit issue. More than likely the ductwork is undersized for the unit. It could possibly be, I mean, we don't know what was originally here. Could have been anything. So more than likely that's the problem. The other thing, if we're screwing high fire, I don't think we've ever done the PMs here, but I think we had just signed a PM contract with this customer not that long ago, and I don't think our first round has been, but we'll double check. Or maybe we did do the PMs, because those aren't bad. We must have. Maybe we did start the PMs. 8117, circuit 2, low gas added. 8317, circuit 2, low gas. Search leak, small alert in evap, but no big alarm. Okay, so that might be an issue later on. There's my blower. There's my plate. nice and blue all the way through. Alrighty. So, yeah, I'll call this one done. We'll let it heat up a little bit, make sure that she don't smoke. I don't think it will, because it's been pretty cold lately, and this is the first time we've heard from them. And that's it. I'll double check the freezer, make sure that that goes into defrost. We don't pop anything. I don't think we should. And then I'll just put the panels back on. And that diagnosis sucked. That was driving me up a wall, but at least we figured it out. It just took me a little while. And so, completed 2 service calls. That's all right. So I'm gonna call these done. We're just gonna leave this York open a little bit just to make sure it doesn't smoke or anything. I don't think it should, because it's been relatively cold the past few days. Freezer, I just gotta put the panels back on. I just left it open. I want to make sure that the X terminal works, and that's it. Make sure everything goes into defrost, comes out of defrost, does what it should be doing. So that diagnosis took me a little bit. I mean, honestly, I was going nuts with it for a while, but I'm glad we figured it out. It was that fan motor that was screwing us up. And just make sure that you find the actual problem and not just fix the symptom. So that's it for this one, and we'll see you guys on some more fun videos from work.